Hi everybody. Today, as you can tell, I am interviewing Santa Claus. Hi Santa, welcome.
Thank you.
Why don't you describe your organization for us?
Regardless if you know me as Kris Kringle, Papa Noel, Santa Claus, or even Santa Claus, I am a representative of the 4th century St. Nicholas of Myra. And on a personal level, I am starting my 18th year as a real bearded Santa. During these 18 years, I have got to witness and experience a lot of wonderful and magical things.
Well, I can imagine. I can just imagine. So, what do most people not know about what you do?
Actually, I have got two answers to this. Number one, most people don't know, but I am diabetic. And I work out every day for an hour with my personal trainer at Gold's Gym. As a result, we have been able to get me to a position where I am no longer taking any form of medication.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Outstanding.
Yes, thank you.
Good.
Secondly, I'm a very charitable person, and a lot of the visits and functions that I attend throughout the season, I do strictly for charity. And any event that I do that I get paid or receive some sort of compensation for, I donate that to a charity. This year, Miss Claus and I are donating any proceeds that we might receive to the Beatties Brothers Foundation.
Ah, okay. And what do the Beatties brothers do?
Well, these guys, there's 4 of them, and they provide or have been providing diabetic supplies and support to the hurricane victims in Houston, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands.
You know, that is really cool because I know people talk about all the supplies that are needed for
Yes.
these hurricane victims.
Yes, they.
I'm sure that medical and diabetic specifically aren't always the first that comes to mind.
Right.
That's
Right.
excellent. That's excellent. So what do people love most about what you do, besides bringing presents?
Well, first, I would say spreading joy and happiness. When you see Santa, you think of Christmas, you think of happy times, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although Santa represents Christmas, I try to live my daily life with the same persona and same functions that I do during the Christmas season, regardless if I'm wearing blue jeans or sweatpants. And yes, Santa does wear sweatpants.
Well, that's good to know. So what made you decide to do this?
I have always looked at being Santa Claus, similar to how you would look at a minister or a doctor. It is a calling. And unless you receive that calling, I do not feel that you can give 100%. So, 18 years ago, I was called upon to serve as Santa on the Heartland Flyer that runs from Oklahoma City to Fort Worth. Needless to say, I was scared. But during the trip, I guess to quote Dr. Seuss, my heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Aww.
And seeing the joy and excitement in children, both young and old's faces, it made me feel warm, and I guess that's when I realized that I had actually received the calling.
Well, that's pretty cool. I love that. Heart grew 3 sizes. So what's the most memorable experience that you've had as Santa Claus?
I have had several, and it seems like every year something happens that is memorable. Is stuck into my head. Yes, stands out. And surprisingly, I've actually started a journal of things that has happened every year that is, good, bad. I'm not going to lie, there has been times where a child or an adult has brought a tear to my eye, but there's also been times where I've laughed, chuckled, that kind of thing. One of my most memorable events was the very first year that I actually started serving as Santa on the Heartland Flyer. And down in Ardmore, we would stop, which actually was a smoke break, and there was a young man, a little boy, standing at the fence with his grandma. I ran over, gave them a candy cane, got back on the train, thought nothing about it. The next year, the little boy and his grandma were standing there, waiting for their candy cane. This went on for 4 or 5 years. And one trip, I jumped off the train to meet the little boy, and by this time, the little boy, he's almost 6 foot tall.
Wow.
And I jumped off to meet him, and he was standing there by himself. And I walked over, shook hands with him. Well, by that point, we were at the hugging stage.
Right.
And
right.
I gave him his candy cane, and he explained to me that his grandmother had passed away. And so I told him I was sorry, and he went on to explain how that it was a Christmas tradition for him to come to the train station to see Santa and get his candy cane. And the next Christmas, the train stopped. I jumped off to go get him his candy cane. This time he's standing there with this little blonde girl. And I'm like, wow. So he introduces me. I give them both a candy cane, get back on the train, continue my journey. Later that year, in the summer, I received a wedding invitation from the young man, and him and the little girl got married.
Oh my goodness, that is just so precious. I love that.
Last year, I did a visit at one of the nursing facilities on the north side of town, and they had a resident there that was one of their memory care residents. And over the course of the year, she had not shown any expression, excitement, anything. I walked in, they had her seated right in front of me, and at some point in the evening, they played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Well, she started tapping her foot. So I get up, I go over, sit down beside her, start talking to her. The next thing I know, and before the visit was over, we were sitting there laughing, and both of us singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and reminiscing about Christmases she had when she was a little girl.
Oh, that is so precious. Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. Oh, I love that. I love it. So, you've described some wonderful, wonderful experiences, but what do you like most about being Santa?
I would have to say spreading joy and happiness to the people. You see Santa as a person in a red suit that comes around, Christmas Eve, delivers presents. As I've said earlier, I try to live my life just like I do at Christmas time. And I really like to see people happy. I like to make people happy. And one of the benefits with this is I continually am running into someone who, at either, the grocery store, someplace like that, I will pass a child or an adult, and they'll just casually say, "Hi, Santa, how's it going?" And that absolutely, positively warms my heart.
Oh, I can imagine.
That warms my heart.
I can imagine. And I can see how that would happen a lot, especially with your beard and everything. You put on a red shirt even in July, and
Yes.
I can see people seeing that.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was it like when you first started?
It was scary. In a word, it was very, very scary.
You had a lot to live up to.
Yes, an awful lot. When I first started, Santa has got a lot of expectations. Okay, you take school mascots, something like that. They don't have like a standard, if you will, of what they are supposed to do. They can pretty much get away with anything. Santa's not so lucky.
That's true.
So when I was first called to do this or asked to do it, I sat down, I studied toy ads. I went to the library, I researched, I memorized reindeer names.
That would be my challenge right there, remembering the reindeer names.
If you look real close, in case I forget, I have them on my buttons. So
that is so cool.
we're
Each of the
good.
buttons has a different
Yes.
reindeer
Yes.
name on it.
But it
That's
was
so cool.
it was very nerve-wracking, and I guess my biggest challenge or fear was, what are the kids going to say, and what am I going to say to them?
I can see that.
That because you never know what a kid is going to say or when,
Sure,
and that was my biggest fear, biggest fear.
I can understand that. What has surprised you the most about doing this?
Wow. First off, I would say, besides having done this for 18 years, I would have never ever seen myself donning a red suit, especially growing a white beard. I would have never ever pictured this. I would have to say one of the things that seriously surprises me is the following that I have. I have a small, I don't say small, I have a group of people that literally follow me around year to year. And they want to know where I'm going to be, that kind of thing, so they can bring their kids. In fact, I have several families that I visit at different times, and I've got to see their kids grow up. It's like I'm a part of their family. And I've got to see the new kids arrive. The old ones graduate high school. In fact, with 18 years, most of the children, that I started off with now are
They're
on
fully
their,
grown, right?
yeah, they are. They're grown, and some of them, starting their own families.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's really cool.
so that,
That's neat.
that's one of them. The other really, I guess, surprising thing, I was selected this year by a group of charities to be one of their of Oklahoma's frontline heroes for my charity work
Oh
that
my
I have
goodness,
done.
that is so precious.
It is.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was seriously honored, and I was even more honored to be standing up there with firefighters, policemen, paramedics,
Yes.
that kind of thing. And then here we had Santa Claus. It really meant a lot. And in addition, I found out about 2 weeks ago, I was runner-up of Santa of the Year for the Central Region of the United States, which was another big honor.
Congratulations. That is fascinating.
Thank you.
So Santa himself is somewhat of a role model, but do you have any role models?
I
that you
do.
have?
I've actually got 4 or 5. First and foremost, my role model would be my dad. He passed away in 1999, but he taught all of us to always be kind, do something every day for someone else, and treat everyone the way we would be treated. And I've carried that legacy with me, and I try to live my daily life that way. My second role model, if you want to call it a role model, would be my wife, my Mrs. Claus, Elaine. She has been supportive and has been my right arm. My third role model, if you can have a group be a role model, would be the children at the Oklahoma Cancer Association. Those kids deal with just horrible illnesses and diseases, and you would expect, a child like that to ask Santa for a cure. It's never happened. Never happened.
I don't know what you would, how you would handle it if they did. But, oh my gosh,
Luckily, I
that's
have not
so
been
sweet.
faced with that, but it's not happened. And those children have inspired me so much that I believe that is the reason that I took the challenge, and I don't want to say conquered, because you never conquer diabetes, but have been able to keep my diabetes in control. My fourth role model would be the Beatties Bros.
See that.
As I said, they're a diabetic group, and seeing the things that they have done at the same time that they're fighting their own challenges. That has seriously inspired me, and they have taught me, not only about diabetes, but how to help and educate other people.
That's great.
And the fifth one would have to be my coach, Jack Johnson,
Oh.
my fitness coach. Jack, has been with me for 6 months, and he has got me to the point, where, like I said, where I don't have to take medication. But in addition to encouraging me to be fit, he's also encouraged me to be the very best in anything that I do.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Sounds like you've got some great role models in your life.
Thank
That's
you.
really cool.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah. Do you have any future events planned?
Yes, I do. If you don't mind me looking at some notes here.
Oh, sure.
I do. I've got some really, really cool ones. First off, I will be the 25th and 26th of November. I will be up at Potopia on Mustang Road doing pet photos. So bring your pets, from aardvarks to zebras, and have your picture made. And we're doing this for a $15 donation to the Mustang Animal Shelter.
Oh, excellent.
The evening of the 25th, Miss Claus and I will be walking in the Guthrie Victorian Christmas Parade.
Oh, how exciting.
Then the 1st of December, we will be at the Paseo downtown.
Neat.
Then the 7th will be in Tuttle for their Home for the Holidays event. We'll be walking in that parade as well. And I guess most excitingly will be Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday. I will be down at Bass Pro in Oklahoma City.
Oh,
So I will be
outstanding.
one of the I will be the Bass Pro Santa this season.
Well, that's exciting.
And
That's cool.
the 9th, 16th, and 17th of December, I will be at the Oklahoma Railway Museum on 36th.
Wow, fantastic. It is getting to be that kind of season.
It is.
The
It
holidays
is.
are just around the corner.
It is.
So I hear that you have a summer place here in Mustang. So tell us, what are some of your favorite things to do in the off season in your summer house?
Well, as most everyone knows, most of my Christmas functions are operated out of the North Pole. But a little known secret is, yes, I do have a summer house here in Mustang that I've had for almost 40 years. As far as favorite things to do in Mustang, I would have to say Santa has got a pet Dalmatian and, don't laugh, a bearded dragon, which is, like a lizard.
That's definitely a different type of pet.
Yes, yes. Well, it gets
Although
too...
there are quite a few people that have them.
Yes. Well, the temperature in Oklahoma is too hot for reindeer.
Oh,
So,
well, that's true.
we
That's
had
true.
to
They have to
adapt.
stay there.
Right.
Yeah.
But each night, the three of us will go for a walk around the
fun.
summer home. And during that, we have met and made friends with some really, really wonderful, wonderful people.
That's cool.
Wonderful people.
That is cool. That's neat.
There is so many really neat things about living in Mustang. I mean,
There
really too many to mention, but I would have to say Western Days. I love the Western Days festivities, and the 4th of July.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to launch fireworks at the North Pole, but
Oh, I can imagine.
Ms. Claus and I host a barbecue and a 4th of July party each year, and that's pretty much how we spend our summer.
Cool. Well, cool. Well, that's all I've got, Santa. Do you have anything to add?
No, not really, except if you see me roaming around the streets in Mustang or at the businesses, feel free to say hi, and I want to wish everyone a very early Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. See you later. Bye-bye.